Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you how to make this beautiful front cut crop top pattern. If you want to know how it's done, stay tuned. So over here I'm going to start with drafting the pattern paper, and I am going to mark a straight line right on the top, of which I'm going to implement half of my shoulder measurement. Then I'm going to measure or apply half of the armhole round measurement and connect the 2 points. Then right at the bottom there on that marking, I'm going to create a chest line. So from the shoulder line, I am going to mark from shoulder to waist, and mine is going to be 17 inches. And then I am going to square a line across the pattern paper. The next thing is to implement my horizontal measurement, which is bust measurement subtract half of an inch. And then on the waist, I'm also going to do the same thing, waist measurement subtract half of an inch. This is because I am going to be using a stretch material. So now right on the shoulder line, I'm going to mark half of an inch because I want to create a shoulder slope and a neck width of around 3.5 inches. Connect the 2 points to create a shoulder slope. Now for the back neck drop, it's going to be 1.5 inches. Over here with the red marker, I am adding a seam allowance of around 0.5 seam allowance. Now it's time for us to create the armhole curve. Measure half or center point of the armhole line and then go in by half of an inch. Then you want to connect this 2 points from that point to the shoulder slope, and then right here connect from the chest line to that center point with a curve. Now this line here is going to serve as the neckline or the armhole for the back. Right now I'm going to cut out the pattern, and I'm going to separate these 2 pieces, and we're going to be drafting the front pattern. So for the front pattern, I want to drop the neckline by 3 inches more. And then don't forget to add your seam right on the neckline. Also a seam of around 0.5 seam allowance. And then I'm going to go ahead now and trim off the armhole for the front. Now right on the armhole, I'm going to mark 1.5 inch and create a marking there, and from that mark again I'm going to create another 1.5 inch. So we've got 2 points right on the armhole. Now on the center front on the chest line, I'm going to mark 3 inches. Now connecting these 2 points, the first 1.5 inch together, and I'm going to use my curved ruler. So create this 2, and then I'm also going to, on the second point, I'm going to connect it with the chest line. So over here, this one is going to serve as the yoke. So I'm going to separate the yoke from the bottom part of the front panel. So what I'm going to do is to trace out the yoke first. And then once we are done tracing out the yoke, I'm just going to separate the yoke from the bottom part of the front pattern. Now I'm going to place these 2 pieces together and create a notch so as to make it easy for us when we actually cut this pattern on the fabric. So I'm going to go ahead and create a notch. Please do the same onto your pattern. Now guys, it's time for us to draft the sleeve pattern. For the sleeve pattern, I'm just going to join these 2 pieces together, the yoke and the bottom part of the front pattern. Measure around the armhole, carefully measure around the armhole, and mine is 9 inches. And then I'm going to get a new pattern paper, mark a straight line there. Then I'm going to find the cap's height, which is 3 inches. How you find your cap's height is you take your bust measurement divided by 12. So you're going to take that 9 inches and place it in between the two lines and draw a line. Then find the center point of that 9 inch and then mark a line. Then from here, we're going to start creating a sleeve head. So as you can see, I'm creating a sleeve head, and right at the bottom, I'm going to mark 1/2 inch. And this part is going to serve as for the front armhole. So if you want to know how high is my sleeve head, it's almost like a 1/2 inch seam. So my sleeve has the back. So where I'm marking in red is actually for the back part of the sleeve. And the one that goes deeper is for the front. So the length of my sleeve is 6 inches. I added 1/2 inch for seam. And then I'm going to measure my bicep round divided by 2. And I'm going to add 1/2 inch for seam allowance. Now our sleeve pattern is done. The next thing we need to do, guys, is to cut out this pattern. Now guys, let's go ahead and cut this on our material. So over here, guys, I've chosen a knit stretch material, and I went ahead and I cut out the bias from the same fabric so as to sew around the opening. So that's the first thing we're going to do, sew around the opening of the yoke and also of the bottom part of the front panel piece. So once we are done sewing the bias, we want to go ahead now and fold it in twice. I'm going to fold it in twice so that I can hide out the seam. Go ahead and take it to the sewing machine and sew a straight stitch. And there we go, guys. This is how it looks. I've already done both the yoke and the bottom part of the front crop top. So the next thing now is to join these two pieces right there at the notch that we've marked. That's where you want to place the yoke. Pin it down and go ahead and sew a straight stitch right on the side. Now the next thing we need to do is to attach the front panel and the back panel together and sew it right on the shoulders. The next thing when we are done is to attach the sleeve. I'm going to go ahead now and create a notch right on the center of the sleeve and then place it or pin it right sides facing with the crop top. And then take it into my sewing machine or a serger and join the sleeve. Now guys, I'm really excited on how this crop top is coming, and the next thing we need to do now is to sew the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and sew the sides and attach the bias around the neckline the same way we did for the chest opening. We'll do the same way on the neckline. So guys, as I've already attached the bias on the neckline, I'm just going to fold it once and then fold it again so as to hide the seam inside. And take it into the sewing machine and sew a straight stitch right on the edge. And guys, our crop top is almost done. The next thing, guys, is to fold the hem right at the bottom and also hem the sleeve. Then I will show you how it turned out. And there we go, guys. I really love how this crop top came out, especially the color. I hope you will also enjoy making this project as much as I did. And please don't forget to like and share. As for me, see you on the next one.